Micky has proved something of a mystery to the OED. They define it as to behave or speak satirically or mockingly, to make fun of, satirise or debunk a person or thing. But where does it come from? It's clearly a euphemism for the earlier take the piss. An old dictionary of rhyming slang claims Micky Bliss is code for you-know-what. But are they right? And who was Micky Bliss?
Neither I nor anybody else who's looked into the matter has ever actually been able to establish the existence of any connection with a real person called Micky Bliss, or even with Mike Bliss, because actually the first examples of the phrase from the 1930s are take the Mike rather than take the Mickey.
Is it frequent for rhyming slang to come from a particular person's name? And if so, is it usually a real person?
Overwhelmingly, when people are looking for a name to make a rhyme with, is that they either choose somebody famous or they make one up, like Britney Spears for beer, for example.
That's a bit of a half rhyme, isn't it, really?
Well, it depends how many, if you're having one beer or several beers.
So the Micky Bliss theory, which is mentioned in the OED, may not hold water. Luckily, you had plenty of other ideas. Take the Micky inspired many word hunters to report to us from the front line of the male waterworks system. Chris Shepherd wrote to tell us that Micky is Irish slang for a penis or an erection, so take the Micky would be to render impotent or castrate, more generally to humiliate. And Dr. Ian White of University College London wrote to us with a more scientific theory.
Taking the Micky comes from taking the mick, which is a shortened form of micturition, which is a more technical term for urination, coming from the Latin micurere. And it all really stems from the original term to be piss proud, which is a belief in the association of having a full bladder and an erect penis.
So piss pride is a kind of false pride, and if you take the piss away, you take the pride away?
It's literally deflating a false ego or pride.
Is this your own theory, or did you read it somewhere?
It's one of those theories that I've read somewhere and heard from various people that just seems to lodge in my mind as potentially more reasonable than a Cockney rhyming slang.
I'm sorry. Is that just cock and bull? Maybe not, but there's no written evidence. So, we've looked at erections, bladders and urine. We are going to dignify proceedings with the help of an elegant mind, thanks to a word hunter who suggested we got in touch with Adam Hart Davis. In Tudor times, according to Adam, who actually wrote a book called Taking the Piss, barrels of human urine were shipped up to Yorkshire to use in the woolen industry to fix dye to wool. But first, vast quantities of urine had to be collected.
And buckets were put on street corners and chaps were asked to contribute, and every week a horse came around with barrels and they tip the buckets into the barrels and they bring them down here to the docks. This is just below London Bridge, and all along here there would be ships with tall masts. So one of the big cargoes was urine. The captains of the boats were a little bit iffy about this cargo, so when somebody asked them, "What are you taking?" they said, "Well, we're carrying wine." And the other captain would say, "You're taking the piss." And maybe that's where it came from.
Is there anything you can give me to help my argument with the OED on this?
They're difficult, are they? Well, I would say that this was a real business. This was a colossal business. Hundreds of tons of human urine was shipped from London up to North Yorkshire. And it's very likely that one or two expressions came out of it. And one of them must have been taking the piss.
You're not, as it were, taking the piss out of me, are you? This is a real thing.
Would I?
Great.